Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that's pretty much every homeowner's worst nightmare: water damage. We're going to break down what it is, why every single second counts, and what a real professional restoration actually looks like. So, when you think of a home disaster, you probably picture something dramatic, right? Like a huge flood rushing through the door. But the truth is, it usually starts with a whisper. It might even be some little thing you walk past every single day with no idea of the trouble brewing just out of sight. You see, the most common and, honestly, the most destructive problems often begin as a silent invasion. We're talking about small, subtle clues that are incredibly easy to miss. That is, if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. Okay, these things right here, these are all symptoms of a much bigger hidden problem. That musty smell you can't get rid of, that isn't just a sign of a little dampness, it's a giant red flag for ongoing moisture that's feeding all sorts of microbial growth. And that peeling paint, it's not just a cosmetic thing, it means the drywall behind it is getting saturated. These are literally the distress signals your house is sending you. Now, spotting those signs is step one, but what you do next, well, that's where everything changes. The second you find a problem, you are on the clock, and believe me, it is ticking fast. You've got roughly 24 to 48 hours. That is the critical window before a simple water issue spirals into a really serious contamination problem. After that point, you're not just fighting water anymore. You're actually fighting biology. And that brings us to this term, microbial growth. In humid climates, this process just takes off like a rocket. As soon as building materials like your drywall or wood get wet, they become the perfect breeding ground for mold and bacteria, which can start to colonize in as little as one day. This really puts it into perspective. This isn't just about drying a wet spot on the floor. Every single hour that passes lets that moisture creep deeper and deeper into your home's structure, which just exponentially increases the damage and the risk of a huge, costly mold problem. And this right here is why the whole I'll do it myself approach is so risky. Sure, you might dry the surface you can see, but the pros use scientific gear to find moisture you can't. A DIY job can easily lead to a much more expensive mold problem later. And get this, it can even get your insurance claim denied. A pro, on the other hand, gives you the exact documentation your insurer needs to see. So what actually happens when you call in the experts? It's not just about a couple of shop vacs and fans, I can tell you that. It's a systematic, scientific process designed to literally rescue your property. Let's walk through it. The pros follow a proven three-phase process. First, emergency extraction, then scientific drawing, and finally, verification. It's how they turn a totally chaotic situation into a controlled, manageable procedure. Phase 1 is all about getting the bulk of the water out, and fast. We're not talking about buckets here. We're talking truck-mounted pumps and industrial-strength extractors that can pull thousands of gallons of standing water out of your home in just a matter of hours. Now, this is the most crucial phase. Just getting rid of the standing water, that's not nearly enough. For the next 3 to 5 days, huge industrial dehumidifiers and high-speed air movers will be running 24/7 to pull all that trapped moisture out of the very bones of your house. The walls, the subfloors, all those hidden spots. So how do they know it's truly dry? They don't guess. They can't. Technicians use these calibrated moisture meters to get hard data, taking readings from your walls and floors. The job is not done until the numbers prove your home's materials are back to their normal pre-loss dry standard. Okay, the water's gone and the drying is happening. But now, two huge questions are probably on your mind. Is it safe? And who is going to pay for all of us? This is where you have to understand contamination and insurance. You've got to know, not all water is the same. Category 1 is clean water, like from a broken supply line. Easy enough. Category 2, or gray water, is a little dirty. Think washing machine discharge. But Category 3, black water, that's the really nasty stuff from sewage or storm flooding. The category dictates the entire cleanup, and for Category 3, anything porous like drywall and carpet has to be torn out and removed. It's a safety thing. Ah, yes, the million-dollar question for every single homeowner. And the answer is, well, it depends. So let's look at what it depends on. So here's the deal. Standard policies usually cover damage that's sudden and accidental, like a pipe that bursts out of nowhere. What they don't cover is gradual damage, like a slow leak you knew about but didn't fix. And critically, your policy requires you to act fast to prevent more damage. That's why that professional documentation we talked about, the photos, the moisture logs, is absolutely non-negotiable for getting your claim paid. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, so let's distill all of this down into a simple, actionable playbook for what you really need to remember if you ever find yourself in this situation. Here's your action plan. Number 1, act fast. That 48-hour clock is not a suggestion, it is very real. 2, document everything. Photos, records, you name it. 3, put safety first by knowing what kind of water you're dealing with. And finally, hire certified pros. Look for an IICRC certification. That stands for the Institute of Inspection, Cleaning, and Restoration Certification. It's basically the gold standard for this industry. And we'll end with this thought. You know, getting things dry to the touch is one thing, but is it truly, structurally, scientifically restored to a safe condition? The difference between those two things, well, that's everything. And it's what protects the health of your family and the value of your home long after the water is gone.